Good evening. My name is Jenny, and welcome to Real Talk with Jenny. It's been a while since we have done this Facebook Live, but I'm so grateful because today we are back. All right, so if you are watching on Facebook Live, just say hello because I'm using StreamYard at the moment. I'm not able to see who is there. So if you can just place a comment so we can greet you while we're doing the show, while we're doing the talk, it will be great. And if you have questions, we will be happy to answer it for you later on towards the end of our discussion. All right, so today is slightly a big topic to talk about. I did mention to you earlier on our previous episodes, maybe when we talk about breakthrough, that I was a victim of domestic abuse, and it wasn't an easy road for me. There were a lot of struggles on self-doubt, low self-esteem, loss of self-confidence that I had to go through. Having said that, I do believe that it is now time to share some information to those women who are still going through it, to those who probably don't have any idea of what is going on in their relationship, or those who would probably in a stage wherein they are confused if it is still love or if they are giving it too much, or if they have to still stay in that relationship, or is the relationship still worth fighting for. So those were a couple of not couple but a lot of questions we have in mind. And most of the time our decisions are affected by many things, probably religion, culture, social influence, and things like that. But there is, it's why we have this Real Talk and many others. I can see a lot of women also sharing the information because we want to share the information of what we've gone through and somehow be able to help others as well. Okay, so today, few words that you will hear about, where I believe you may have heard also a couple of times. There's the word narcissist. There is also a word codependent. So by definition, they say a narcissist is a taker, a person who has an excessive interest for admiration of themselves. They're focused on just themselves. For some, they would say self-centered, ego-centered, or something like that. But it's more about just him. And I said earlier about the word codependent. Codependent, for some, they would define it as the giver, the empath. These people are most likely emotional, and by definition, they said that there's a psychological reliance on a partner. So you might be wondering, where am I in that? Am I the codependent or a narcissist, or maybe I'm not there? Yeah. So today, we are so happy that we have a guest who will talk about all these things. Yeah. All right, she's back. I just saw her. All right. Okay. I have here like a few signs that I just scribbled on towards my journey. So I would say, for me, I think signs of a manipulative person is someone who doesn't respect boundaries. They make you question your reality, or they always deflect on blame. If you heard about the guilt, blame, and shame, these are the few words that I would say words. These are the tools that a narcissist always use towards his or her partner, or not even that. Could be like a family member, a friend, or anyone else. All right, so as I mentioned, today we have a very special guest, and we are so grateful that she said yes to share her story. She's from Canada, and she is a mother of three, and she always believed that everything happens for a reason. And she's a successful business owner, right? Beyond that, she also has gone through tough times, and let us hear from her on how she succeeded in all of this. So I would like to welcome Jessica Carter on screen. Hi, Jessica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. Awesome. Hi. So sorry. This technology these days.
Yes. Yeah.
We're
But
all
that's
learning.
a good thing, right?
Yes.
Which part of Canada are you again?
Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's bright and sunny over there, is
Yay.
it?
It is. It is. Yes, I'm actually in my car. And I had to move under the shade, so hopefully you can see me without a glare. And yeah, we'll
Yes,
have this
we can
conversation.
we can see your very beautiful face.
Aw, thank you. You too.
Yeah. So, Jessica, I did mention a few words earlier, and I told our audience today that you will be sharing your story.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So
Here we go.
I guess like yes, it's a huge long story. We all have stories. I think the first indication is we all have an intuition, and I believe that like I didn't listen to my intuition. There was a lot of red flags when I went into the relationship. I believe that I went into the relationship more so because I wanted it so bad. Like I have this fairy tale life that I wanted. I wanted to fall in love, have a family, get married, have a house, like live happily ever after. And I was rushing it. So my relationship happened very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We moved in together within a couple months, and from there we got married within a year. So, and then right after that we had my daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot and very quickly. So I didn't really know who he was and like what he was all about. I just had that
Mm-hmm.
fairy tale life that, oh my goodness, I met the love of my life and we're gonna get married and have a family. So the first like red flag was like how quickly it all
Mm-hmm.
happened, you know?
Yeah.
So and from there I believe like you saw I did see like he was very possessive. So the
Okay.
possessiveness and how angry he would get. So if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't answer my phone calls or the text messages right away, he would get angry and controlling.
Is that
I wasn't
before the
allowed to work with.
marriage?
It
Sorry.
was before
Is
the
that
marriage.
before?
So there was red flags. That's what I'm saying. Like my intuition,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, I felt it, but I was like, oh no no no, like if life is going to be great. I'm going to have this family. I'm going to have this fairy tale life, and I wanted it so
Yeah.
badly. So I dismissed these feelings. So like that's what I think that's really important that you start like tapping into these feelings that you're feeling. If they're not
True.
if they're not sitting right, question them. Like be like really like, do I really think that this is going to go the right direction? So the first time that he actually was physical with me was just before the wedding. And the wedding invitations were out, and I was like, I told my mom about it, and she's like, Jessica, I really think that you need to call at this wedding. And I was like, I can't, like, I can't look like a failure. Like,
Mm.
how can this happen? Like, I want to have a baby soon. Like, I want all these things. So he promised me the world. He said that he would with abuse it goes into a cycle. So you have the cycle of like the honeymoon stage after it happens,
Yeah.
and he'll promise you the world. So he went to anger management. He actually took a course on anger
Mm.
management so he would get married. So I was like, oh,
So
he's
there's
in
an
the right
action.
direction.
So there's
There
an
was an
action
action,
on
and
his
I was
side.
very
Oh.
impressed that he was willing to get help. Like, why wouldn't I stick by a man that was willing to do what he needed to do to get better? So
Mm.
that was my belief that he was going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So after the wedding, it became a lot worse. It was happening at least once a month, and then we ended up. I actually ended up reporting him in 2015. So after my daughter was born, my second daughter, she was born in 2013. It continued to happen.
Mm-hmm.
2015, I had enough. So that was the first step of taking action for myself.
Mm-hmm.
He promised me the world again, and I also, not only he did, his whole family did. So I had his mom always like chirping in my ear saying, he absolutely loves you, he needs help, you need to stick by him, you don't want a broken family. So I had all this guilt put on me of like wanting to remove myself from this situation. And I don't think that was actually strong enough to leave anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had the wants of leaving, but I also had a lot of wants of having a marriage. And you don't get
Mm-hmm.
married to get divorced, right? You
Yeah.
you want to stick with them through sickness and health, and I believe that he's very sick. So I did get back together with him, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the cycle that we go through. Like we constantly, like, we're building that muscle of
Mm-hmm.
uh protecting ourselves, but at the same time, we still have that weakness of letting them manipulate us and coming back. So from 2015 to 2017, we were off and on. Then 2017 to 18, we tried it again, and we tried it really hard. This is where it got like extremely scary. So in 2018, my life was threatened, and
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very, extremely scared. And I realized, like, you have to take the action. Like, it's 100%
Yeah,
on you. You can't rely on
that's
anybody
true.
else. You have the support systems, but I believe that if you don't take the action of protecting you and your family, you have
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Like, he kept on breaching. So there was like 9 breaches, and
Mm-hmm.
I was no longer safe in my house. I had to do a midnight move, and now I'm paying for a mortgage and a rental. But if I didn't leave this house, that, like, I don't believe that I'd be here today.
Safe. Yeah.
So I think, like, we think that the system's going to protect us, and
Mm-hmm.
they do to a great degree, but you're the only one that can protect yourself. You have to take the action to remove yourself from the situation, and whatever that costs you. There's a lot of it comes without, like, there's consequences. Like, we have to, if we want to leave, we might have to give up
Mm-hmm.
things. So yeah,
Oh wow. Yeah.
that's a bit of my background. So hopefully, if
Yeah.
people can actually kind of tap in and relate and actually understand
Yeah.
exactly how extreme it was, and, like, everybody has a different situation. It can be different kind of abuses, but I believe that all
True.
abuses are not tolerable. You have to remove yourself from the situation, and it takes a
That's
lot.
very true. Yeah,
It's
I know.
not easy, right?
Yeah. So you said that there's already a sign before the marriage. So did he hit you just before the marriage? Was
He
that a
did. He
physical
did.
abuse?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was very, very physical. To an extreme. Like, it was very, very bad. But there was also, like, a lot of manipulation, and I think that's part of
Yeah,
an abuse as well, right? So, like, after being hit, he's like, I love you so much, and I would never do
that's
anything to
true.
hurt you, but you physically just hurt me. So how's that? Like, so your mind is like, but he's saying these
You're
things, but
torn.
his actions are completely different. So, and you're like, am I crazy? Like, is this actually happening? Because, like, I feel like like, I'm not seeing what I'm feeling, and it's
Correct.
it's crazy. You kind of, like, step back, and you're like, I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know what's happening, right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the trait um, that they do. They call it like a love bomb when they promise the world to you after hurting you badly,
Yeah.
or they
Hmm.
will cry and they tell you that they love you, and then the next day it's just the same all over again.
100%.
and
Yeah.
and also it is that state wherein they make you feel like you're the one who's wrong. Like what he
It's
said.
so true. And not even just like them, it's like the circle around you, like your friends start thinking that like his friends thought I was crazy, his family thought I was crazy, like that I'm the one that like was making stuff up, right? And meanwhile I'm the one that has black eyes, so I don't know. Who's the crazy one
Yeah,
here? I don't know.
that is true. And the thing is, um, the people around us sometimes wouldn't. Try to find it hard to understand what's going on. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, oh, they're together now, but then they said they had a fight and things like that.
Hmm.
I believe it's only the person who also experienced the same who would totally understand the other person.
Yeah.
Um, because it's a crazy world, as you said. I mean, in reality, it's a crazy world because you will feel all the pressure, the guilt. Also, when you said that, sometimes we wouldn't want to leave because we wouldn't want to be the cause of the heartbreak for our children.
Right. That, and I think they use that a lot as well, like that you don't want somebody else raising your children, you don't like that harped on me a lot. Like I didn't want to have 50-50 with my children. Like it, I need to protect them at all times. And when you want to leave a domestic situation, I think that that's a part of you that's like, how do I protect them when they're not with me? You know? So I strongly believe that, when I was going through everything that I was going through, at the end there was this quote that came up, and I live by it now. And it's, if you don't if you do what's easy, you'll have a hard life. And if you do what's hard, you'll have an easy life. And the hard part for me was always putting, like, every time he breached, I would actually report him. So that was a
Yeah.
huge step. Before, if it was easy, like, I would be like, oh, it didn't really matter, I won't turn him in, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like it would be easy for me to stay with him and raise my children together, you know it would be hard for me to take that step and leave him, and have him raise the children on his time, and I
Yes.
would raise them on my time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When you say, yeah, for the sake of the others who are here in the Philippines, when you say bridges, does that mean there was a restraining order that he's not supposed to come in a certain
Yes.
parameter with you, and then he still comes to you, like really close to you, and just get into your face? Hey, here he
Right.
is, just right in front of you.
So yes, exactly. So that was the breaches that were happening. Like, he would get arrested, and then the minute he was released, he would show up. I'd turn around, and he's in my house. There'd be He would be in jail, and he'd be writing me letters and
Mhm.
manipulating me through the letters, saying how much he loves me, that he knows he was
Yeah.
wrong, and can't wait to be with me in the summertime. And like, there was just a lot of things that he was trying to manipulate me through. And a part of me, like that codependent part of me, was like, I don't want to return. I don't, I feel so bad for him. He really needs me, and you want to
Yeah.
protect him, right? And it's such a messed up way of thinking. But I did have a lot of people around me. My
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, this is wrong. You should know that
Mm-hmm.
this is wrong. And when you step back from it, when you stop
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, like, how he feels, you start understanding how you feel and what you want out of life. And I think that when you're codependent, you don't feel that way. You always think of the other person
The
first.
other person, yeah. Thinking of the other
Hmm.
person other than yourself. I mean, you've thought about everybody else except for yourself.
Of 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you got. I mean, you separated from him and got back twice. Is that right? Twice.
Oh, I
2015
have
and then
way more than
2018.
that. It was probably like once a month. It was extreme, like, you know, I never wanted my marriage to end. I really didn't. It was a
Yeah.
really, really soft spot for me. But yeah, like, there was like probably about 3 times that were like the extreme, that were like, the police were involved, and that like I couldn't go back to him. But there was, twice that I did.
Is there something that he did special that made you, made you come back to him again? I think
Sorry.
I can hear you. Yes, that's all right. I can hear
Our
you.
connection.
So yeah, I was asking if
I
is there a very
I forget where
special
we were
thing
at.
that I know, right? Or sometimes we really want to forget. No, is there something special that made you come back?
I think that like it was part of the game for him, like that, like no one else would love me or understand me the way that he did. He would tap into, like, I believe in God, and like having the vows. He'd be like, you don't believe in divorce. I didn't want my children to have another person raising them. I wanted to be completely involved in all the decision making and their daily lives. Um, I didn't want to give up on my dream. My dream, I'm a big
Hmm.
dreamer, right? So I think that was like a huge part of it. But my reality was so far from my dream that like I knew I had to make a change.
Yeah. So it sounds like you really love him that you still wanted the marriage to work out, right?
Yeah, I did. Up until the point where like my life was threatened, I was willing to make it work, right? And then when
Yeah.
I realized that it was so extreme, and that if I didn't make, and honestly, like even when my life was threatened, I don't even think that was enough. It was when I went and talked to a lawyer, and he's like,
Mm.
Jessica, if you don't do something right now, I'm telling you that I'm gonna be reading about you in a newspaper very shortly.
Mm.
And when that hit me, I was like, my kids need me. I can't
Yeah,
die, right? So,
exactly.
and it's not to say like my like that I can't die any day, but I think
Hmm.
that I'm in less of a chance being separated from the situation that I was.
That is correct. Totally agree with you. So, they said that like a narcissist matches a codependent. It's like it's a magnet,
Yeah, yeah,
and
probably.
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that's what they said, and yeah, for us, it shows that we didn't really love ourselves that much. That yeah, we tend to just give and give and give and give
Yeah.
until our cup is already empty. I know this has been like a problem, like not just for yourself, like for me, I went into the same situation. But how do you deal with it? How do you heal codependency?
So I like with the codependency, I really had to be called out on it. I had like business coaches, everybody saying like, um,
I'd like to say hello to my mom. Jessica, are you back? Yeah, she just greeted you. Good evening, mom. It's morning time in Jessica's end. All right. While we're waiting for Jessica to come back, so clearly, she mentioned or made us realize that it is true that a narcissist matches a codependent person. So a taker and a giver. And basically, what we needed to do is start to love ourselves. As much as sharing yourself, giving yourself is not bad, but just sharing yourself and giving yourself and not loving yourself and caring for yourself is something else. So I believe once we start to love ourselves again, it will be easy for us to see our worth, to gain back our self confidence, our self worth, our self esteem. This is really important, and it is not in any way selfish to do that. right? Okay, let's just wait for Jessica to come back. But I hope that you are able to listen earlier on what we've talked about. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type it in or comment it in so we will be able to reply back to you. Welcome back, Jess. Yeah, all right. While we're waiting for Jess, so there were already signs that she saw. Imagine she was about to get married and this person hurt him physically. But because she decided that she wanted to have that marriage, wanted to build that family, and she thinks that one incident will not reflect on the whole being of a person. That's the reason why she gave it another try. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Jen. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh dear.
It's
I'm
all
so
right.
sorry.
That's all right. You're back, and that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So we were talking about codependency, and like the narcissism matches a codependent, and we wanted to know on how you coped up and healed from codependency. Well, I
Okay.
think it's not easy, right?
That's where we were. Yes.
Yeah, that's where we
Yes.
were.
Okay. So it was all my surroundings. So I had people that were stronger and that could call me out on what my actions were and how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be mean about it. I've had a couple people that would like shake me and be like, Jessica, wake up, right?
Wait.
But there was a lot of like personal development that I had to do. I found
Mm-hmm.
an outlet. I was going to church on Sundays, and that was my outlet. And it would be a lot. That would be my safe place where I'd be crying like
Yeah.
a lot. And
Yeah.
people didn't know my situation at that time, but I'm so grateful I had that one place that I could be scared and let it all out, right? Because I think that
Yeah.
when you're going through this too, you act so strong, and that you have to be strong because you're the only one holding it together. Um,
Correct.
but as a personal development, taking care of myself was huge. Starting to work out again and eating properly, and even just showering. Like when you're having a bad day or a bad situation, put yourself in water.
Yes.
It kind of like releases everything.
Yeah.
Um, it's just
Yeah, it
it's taking
removes
care of
all the
yourself, putting
stress
yourself
and
first.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so true. Like, and I noticed that like you have to stop reacting, right? When you
Yes.
react to a situation, that keeps you stuck. You have to like kind of just like absorb it, see what's happening around
Mm-hmm.
you, and ask if it's true. Like, is it true if I call the police on him, will my children be taken away? Right? And
Mm.
I also
Yeah.
noticed too, I had CAS was involved in Ontario. There's CAS, and
Mm-hmm.
they take care of the children, like make sure that they're safe. And what they were
Yeah.
doing for me was like helping me with like the manipulation that he would do and say like my children are going to be taken away from me, but in fact they were there to help me through the process. And they would always say there's no safety in secrets. So the minute that
Mm.
I realized that I was protecting him by keeping this a secret, I
Yeah.
when I let it go, when I told my neighbors what was happening, so they could if there was a strange car sitting in front of my house, they would know, like call the police.
Mm-hmm.
Like telling all my friends, I opened up on Facebook and told everybody about my situation. And when I told everybody, it was like that relief. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm no longer protecting him. I'm no longer living a lie. Um,
Correct.
and how many people opened up to me about their situations, and I realized like we all have gone through this, and we
That's
don't
true.
talk about it. And it's not even to say like it's a man hitting a woman. It could be a woman hitting a man. Like it could be
Yeah.
any situation. But I think that we need to be more open and talk about it, because it's not right.
Correct. I believe the hardest part is accepting
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
only when you are able to accept it, that this is happening to you, that is when the time your mind will open and you will see. Because unless you will be blinded by it. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned, I think if I heard it right, so he was threatening that if you say this, that this is it CAS or something like that, they will
CAS.
take
Yeah.
your kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at you. Of course, you're a very intelligent, smart woman, but you just listened to him and just like covered everything and not really find out the truth in that. And yeah, same thing that happened to me. It's like a threat, and this is the only thing that's going to happen if you do this. It's like there's a bubble
Yes. Yeah.
around us that we only see this person who's with us. I mean, hear, see, and feel only one person and not the world around us.
Right. Yeah, I think that they learn your sweet spots, right? So you don't go into this relationship being codependent. It's just gradual how it starts happening, and then you lose who you are, and then at the end you're like, I'm nothing without him, and it's
Yeah,
so weird, even though that you're the only one that's holding everything together. So I don't even
true.
know how that's even possible, but like there was a lot of things like he would figure out, like, if he threatened that he's going to kill himself, then I would have to live
Mm,
with the guilt of telling the kids that their dad killed themselves because of me, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like it was a lot, like there was a lot of manipulation throughout the whole
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
totally a lie that they're saying, but the action is totally different from what
Yes.
they're saying. And we, as I wouldn't say last time we talked, and most, I mean, I felt that I was weak because I let it happen to me.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
but in
and
fact we are this like really strong. And I
yes,
think that I think a lot of women right now that are going through this, they're feeling all the feelings that we had. But like
yeah,
there is so much hope. Like if they just like remove themselves from the situation, they'll become strong. Like that's the strongest step right there, is that the like it's a little step, one foot in front of the other. It doesn't
true,
happen overnight. But it's gradual,
correct.
like, yeah. It doesn't get easier, you just get stronger, right? So
Yes,
you just one step in front of the other.
and we want to tell them that even sometimes we've already stepped a few steps. Sometimes we feel that we are stuck, we are still there and we're not moving, but every little step
Right.
you do is still progress,
It
and
is.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
And like, not to beat yourself up, because that's what we do. We beat our, like, not only are they beating us up, but in the end you're beating yourself up. Like, you, and that's what I said, like, my mind would actually turn into, did I deserve this? Like, I must have, I
Yeah,
must have stepped out of line. Like, like he must be right. Like, I am insane. I must not have my head on straight. You know, his mom would always say, like I'm up and down like a toilet seat, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how is this
yeah,
turning on me? But it must be me. You know?
yeah, correct. Yeah, I think that is another thing when you have other people saying the same thing, protecting someone who's doing this, and that adds up to your doubt,
Yes. Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
another person agreeing with him, right?
Yeah.
And
And I think that we isolate ourselves too. Like, did you find that you wouldn't like talk to your friends and family? Like, you would actually like
yes,
kind of like isolate yourself. So like this whole
yes,
pandemic has been nothing for us, because like we were living through that already, you
correct.
know? And
Very
it's
true.
not funny. I shouldn't laugh, but it's reality. Like it wasn't a big shock for us. It was like, okay, I'm used to being on my own. I'm used to not talking to people, so it's not that big of a
True.
deal, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the reasons why we don't do that is first, tell me if you encounter the same, is because of the jealousy. When we talk to others, they think that there could be another person involved and things like that, and the thought that you wouldn't want your for me, because there was a threat in the family, so I wouldn't want to the family to know, I mean the people close to me to know, and that I don't want them to worry. So everything is just in me, in my head, and it's just rolling over and over again, and we create all these stories. Besides the fact that this is how, I mean, what we see.
Yeah.
So it's really not easy, but yeah, we are here already, and it's just a relief when you can get out of there without someone really bothering you and texting you every now and then, and where are you, as if you're doing something, and or in fact
I
you're just
know.
going to work or just buying the groceries or things like that.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, and that's a trigger, right? There was always triggers that would happen.
Yes.
So when you don't answer the phone, that's where it escalated, right? So you're like,
Yes.
and then you're always on guard because you're like, oh my goodness, is he gonna snap when I get home? Like I don't even want to go home right
Yeah.
now, you know? So you kind of, I found my outlet was work. Like and
Same
I'm,
same with me.
very successful because of that. But I feel like I hid in a mask behind who the business was, and it was my outlet. Like I could be a person there that wasn't the same person at home, you know?
Yeah, and probably people who see you because you're a successful businesswoman wouldn't ever think that this is going on in your life when it was still happening.
Right. Yeah. 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 When I opened up about it, I got hundreds of messages, and there was people that had like they thought something was
Hmm.
happening, like they would see like that I had a bit of a black eye left, and they'd be like, are you covering something up? And I'd be like, oh no, I fell on ice, like
Yeah,
or I spinned around and I hit the truck and hit my arm like
I
really
fell on
bad.
the stairs, something like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did that too though.
Yeah, I did
I
that.
just fell down the stairs, so I can't use that one.
Yeah, yeah, and I put a lot of makeup just to cover it.
Yeah, yeah. But it does get better if people do leave. It just becomes a different kind of scared. Like I don't think we would ever live the same. I don't think that like it's like I don't watch scary movies anymore because they scare me a
Mm.
lot. But like I think we live on guard. I'm very much still in it. Um,
Yes.
the only time I feel safe is like when he's physically behind bars. Um,
Mm.
but yeah,
But
I don't
where
know.
is he now? I mean, where is he
He's
now?
he's actually in jail right now, so I feel safe
Okay.
right now. But
Yeah.
when he's not in jail, like I don't go for walks on my own. I'm never
Yeah.
out after it's dark. I'm always locking the doors
Yes.
behind me. It's a scary world, and people might think that I might be over paranoid or
Mm.
something, but reality is like there's been lots of breaches, and we are very, very much in it right now.
Yeah. And I think it's the trauma that, that you had. And I mean, that's very understandable that you feel unsafe, you feel scared, especially
Yeah,
when he's out and that he might come back to you again. But you are a strong woman, you're a successful woman, and you're doing great. We will all
thank
get through
you.
this.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So, to those people who are watching, if you have any questions, you can just comment it while we still have a few more minutes. I know Jess also will be busy the whole day. But thank you so much, Jess, for coming in and sharing your
Thank you for
story.
having me.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's good that we can share information. I do know a few people who are still in there, and I sense that they're not yet ready to open up. But yeah, I know somewhere at some point when they hear stories like this that are happening, they will be able to evaluate themselves on where they are at the moment. I normally say I don't advocate. I mean, it might sound like I'm a man hater, or I
No,
would
not at all.
advocate divorce or annulment or something like that. But no, no. If you can still work it out, do it. I mean, if the other person is aware of what is happening to him and he's willing to change for himself first, because I
Yeah.
think that's more important. Because if you do just change just because someone wants you to change, that's not gonna work. It will be just a fake change because you are
Hmm.
not willing to do the work for yourself. So yeah, any other advice you would like to
I think
share, Jess?
that yeah, I think the only thing that I want to like sign off with is I think that if people that are going through this right now, if they just start taking steps to put themselves first, I think
Yeah,
that is the first step, right? Like start working on yourself, start listening to personal development. There's so much out there. It's not the lack of resources, it's the lack of resourcefulness. So it's all out there,
yeah,
it's all free. Start reaching out to people. Look at people
true.
that you like admire, and maybe like start talking to people, get mentors. Just start building yourself up, because once you start building yourself up, you're able to make wiser decisions.
That's very true. Yeah, and they can even start with like eating their favorite food or doing
Not
their the
favorite.
hob.
No,
Yeah.
don't indulge in bad food. Like eat whole foods that
I mean,
raise your
not that
frequency.
indulgent food, but yeah, or get a
Yeah.
haircut. Just
Yes, like
something
take
that
care
will
of
make you
yourself.
feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Go back to an old hobby.
Yes,
Read a
yeah.
book.
Yeah, I think you lose
Yeah.
all those things when you're in something like this. You lose everything that really meant something to you. Yeah.
Yeah, because slowly, I mean, we're not saying it's just one day you do all these things and you
No,
completely
no, no.
forget everything, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, one step at a time. Like, you know what? I realized that I don't really look at myself in the mirror
Yeah. It's
for
hard
the
to look at
longest
yourself
time.
in the mirror. Yeah.
Yes. And that has been hard for me until like a few years, and I try, and then it's like a subconscious thing. I never noticed it until I notice it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong? Why am I not looking at the mirror? It's just something wrong. So yeah, that's like one sign. Subconsciously, I didn't know that I was doing that
Right.
until slowly things change.
Yeah. Yeah. The mirror work is really important. I'm with you. I didn't look in the mirror. One of my coaches made me look in the mirror and look into my soul. And I just started bawling, and I've never actually like looked into myself before and was able to
Yeah.
say like I am beautiful, I am strong, I am worthy. Like those
Yes.
are like really powerful words that I couldn't say to myself. So it takes a lot to get there, and I'm
Yeah.
still going through it a lot. Every day I still have to wake up and do that personal development and work on myself.
Yeah.
But I don't think that ever ends. It's an everyday thing. You have to do it.
Yeah. We really have to do the work because we
Yeah.
want change, and we're doing this not for ourselves. We're doing it for our children because I mean everyone wants to be the best version of themselves, especially not just for ourselves but for our kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. All right. So, thank you so much, Jess. I wasn't able to ask you what's your business, by the way. What's the
Oh,
name?
I own a staging company, a home staging company. We just beautify homes to help and sell. So I
Yeah,
get
that's
lost in
cool.
creativity.
That is cool. All
Yeah.
right. So my mom says, congrats and salute to both strong women as you are. Aw, thank
Aw.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
very happy that we connected for sure.
Yes, I'm so happy as well. One thing that also helped me is, having a support group, my family,
Mhm.
around me, to say it's all right. Why are you so scared? Because, in the beginning, after the separation, we'd still get scared. You might get a text or something like that. It's funny looking back now. I see myself. Why was I so scared? I mean, but it's
See,
the
that's a
power
growth,
of,
right? Because
yeah,
you grew. So like that old version of you is not the same that you are today. And I think that's, we get lost in what we were.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Princess Amaris is, my doctor friend also is here watching, admiring you both for braving your way out.
Aw.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. She's also one of those people who just pushed me to, you can do this, things like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing. See, and
yeah, because,
when you have the support too, like that's great support, that
yeah,
you just need that
but
push. You can do it. You can do it. You're so brave. You can do it.
that's true. That's true. But of course, as much as everyone's saying you can do it, if our ears are closed and our hearts are closed, we won't be able to do it. Because I was thinking, if it happened in the middle, and I was not ready to open up and accept things as they are, it wouldn't work. So we also need to open up, share our part, and also be on a positive note that things will be okay for us.
Right.
All right, thank you so much,
Okay.
Jess.
Thanks for having me.
um yes, please take care and please keep in touch.
I will, for sure.
Okay, Princess Amari said, yeah, I remember that night to the station. Yeah, she was pushing me to, you need to go to the police station and things like that. All right. Thanks, Jess. And we wish you well. God bless you. I know you will get through this. Things will be better soon. I know at some point you want to move to another place. We pray that to happen, whatever your wish. And yeah, take care of your kids as well.
I will. Thanks, Jenny. You take care too.
Take care. Yes.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was a good conversation with Jess. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And from today onwards, I just wanted to give a heads up that the topics that we're going to talk about will basically help women in different situations of life, but most especially who are still out there and not ready to accept things that are happening in their relationship. As I said, I'm not advocating divorce or anything like that, but by weighing in, by having these conversations with women who encounter the same situation, may somehow give you some light, reflection. You can pause and see where are you at the moment in your relationship. If things are still workable, and then go push and work it out between the two of you. And yeah, that's it. If you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you are watching on Facebook, please don't forget to follow me as well. And you will hear more of these positive words, positive guide for us to move forward and love ourselves more, care for ourselves more, because we deserve it, right? As I always say, I got this from, she's also a coach, and she's been my guest on Real Talk with Jenny when we talk about breakthrough. This is something that she shared with me that I always say to you guys on my Thursday's most requested on all of my Real Talk episode, saying you are enough, you are lovely, and you are beautiful, you are loved, and you are enough. Yes, that's it. Hi, Mina. You are Oh, thank you. No, you are also an inspiration. Mina is a good friend, and she's very supportive to all her friends. So thank you, Mina. Doctora, thank you so much. If you guys see my teeth, yeah, that's Doctora doing all that. So that's ARR Orthodontal Clinic. That's somewhere here in Pablo Ocampo Street. Please do let us know if you want to visit her. She's still, doc, is a clinic going on every day. She'll message soon. But yes, she's having clinic every now and then, but you can just set an appointment. Yes, thank you so much, Mama. Thank you for watching, and to everyone, you have not commented your name, so I'm sorry I'm not able to see you. But thank you so much. I hope you are able to pick up something from today's episode. Please do take care of yourselves. God bless you. Keep safe, and see you on Thursday for Thursday's most requested, and see you next Sunday. Bye.